You know, it doesn't matter what you're thinking and believing, you're part of something beautiful. If your ego offers up anything less than that, thank it for sharing with you. Move it from your head to paper and question it. It will leave you less mentally ill. Just imagine not ever having to deal with self-esteem, low self-esteem, just knowing you by your true nature. Non-duality. Goodness without opposite. Everyone equal. As they say, no one left behind, and none of us are other than what we're thinking and believing and haven't questioned yet. What I'm thinking and believing that would leave me or you as anything less than beautiful shows me clearly I'm being tranced, I'm being egoed, not right or wrong. It's just the baby, the ego needs a little attention. It wants a little praise. It wants a little I am not good enough. I am, you are. That's mental illness, physical. It is. If someone says, Byron Katie, you look terrible, you know, why might I celebrate that? They get to look good and I'm supporting that. Gifting, no downside, awake to the cause of my suffering. And the privilege of understanding that you have the same power. It is not easy at first to get honest with oneself. Of course, you know, the ego would resist. I mean, it's not going to go down easy. It's fighting for its life. It's fighting to be I am. I am not, I am. We all know the difference between suffering and not suffering. And we all have equal opportunity to understand the cause of our suffering and how to end it. And those of you new to the work today, that's what we do in this community. We identify what we're thinking and believing in any given situation where we were upset, angry, lost, anxious. And we anchor in that time and place, even though it's happened 1,000 times in a million situations in our lives. We identify and just anchor in one situation where we're thinking and believing that. And that's the worksheet. We move the thoughts we're thinking in that situation from our head to paper, and then we meditate in, is it true? And I've given all of you like 3 other questions to back that up and turnarounds to back that up. But if you just meditate on, is it true? You don't even need those guidelines. You don't even need those steps. It's all there, if your mind's open to it. But in the meantime, I can tell you I use those steps because I don't want to skip one. Enlightenment is a term for the absence of suffering. B, honey, do you have a question?
Hi, Katie.
Hi, B.
How are you?
I'm as well as I can be, and happy to say that it's the same for every human being in this moment. Now we are all as happy as we can possibly be in this moment. So,
Mm,
honey, I'm as well as I can be.
Last couple of weeks, I'm just so obsessed with this message or practice, and with you also. Sometimes I really feel like I could just die in your arms.
Oh, sweetie. Oh,
Really, it is
that
just
is,
hitting me so hard lately. I don't know what's happening.
oh, honey. Oh, isn't that just I am so, that is so beautiful. That is so beautiful.
And your audio book with your voice, the mind at home with itself. Oh my God, I just love it so much. The way you talk there, the stuff you talk about. I love it so much when you talk this way. It is really, I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Oh, honey, thank you so much for that. Thank you. Thank you so much. What I love about the way I'm hearing you is the way you connect with what I say in that book and in our time together as well. It's the same thing rings in me that rings in you, and the same thing that rings in you rings in me. And it's the language of love, and those images of past and future, to understand them, that is the dream, and to be awake to that. And that is the gift of life. Absent that is the gift of life now. In this world, we're alive now. We're alive now in this gift I call Earth School. Thank you, B.
Thank you so much.
Robina, you have a question, sweetie.
Hi, so
Hi.
happy to be here.
Hi, Robina. Happy to see you here.
Thank you. I've been studying the work for a long time, and it took me a long time to understand it, but I've come to a place where I understand it's my ego and everybody is working within the mind. And I'm at a place where I understand it, but I'm having trouble stopping. I'm having trouble not getting my feelings hurt still, because I know I'm listening to my mind.
Well, in Earth School, when your feelings are hurt, it's you've just, your next lesson is just on your plate. When you're feeling hurt, not feeling well, what are you thinking and believing? That is the cause of your suffering. Test it. Move it from your head to paper and question it. And all of you knew the questions, everything free at thework.com or byronkatie.com, everything free. You don't have to pay. It's there. And also we have a 99-cent app. But, I could be thinking about the work, or I could do the work, and one works and one of those don't.
I understand.
Yeah, sweetie, you just move your thoughts, the ones that stress you out, move it to paper, and then just meditate in those 4 questions and turnarounds, and oh my, and continue the path you're on. It's from where I sit, that is something truly beautiful.
I just hope someday to get to the point where, is there ever a time that you don't have to do the work? I mean, that it comes natural to you?
Well, yes. Every time you do a Judge and Neighbor worksheet, your life shifts, your whole identity shifts. Just every time you said, and if you need a little help, go into the comments column and ask for an experienced facilitator to work with you. And if you don't like that one, just thank them for sharing and ask again for someone else.
I see.
Yeah.
And I want to tell you as well, I love you. I saw you in Hollywood when you were there, and I was also agoraphobic at one time.
Right.
And I went there to see you because I was so encouraged by your message.
Oh,
I want to thank you.
oh, sweetie. And here we are. You know, we're out of our cage physically as well as mentally, and it's always a beginning.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh boy, Sabi or Sabi, you have a question and a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet?
Hi, Katie.
Hi, honey.
Hi, my name is actually Sabina, but because there's a lot of Sabina today, that's very nice.
Okay, Sabi.
Yes, and I miss you so much. I haven't been on the call in a while.
Yeah. Well, here we are again. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is what matters.
My question for you is, I feel like sometimes, even though I'm doing some worksheet, but I really do feel like I'm stuck on a certain past, and it just has been a
You feel like you're stuck on what?
I'm stuck in the past. I can feel like a part of me is stuck in the past.
Yeah, well, that's the ego's world, past, future, and where does life go on? Right here, right now. And what do I love about it? The chair is holding me. It's not complaining. It doesn't say I weigh too much or get off of me. And it doesn't say you didn't thank me. You just sit on me and take me for granted. You know, this is a good moment. All is well. Now, I don't know about the past. I don't know about the future, what's going to arise in me, but if it does, I've got that worksheet I was pointing to earlier. Do you have a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet filled in?
I do.
Let's look at that.
Okay, and it is a situation from the past. So I'm hoping that we can do that.
Well, yes, that's how I do worksheets as well. Yeah, what I'm thinking and believing about the past or future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my number one, I wrote that I am sad that he loves her more.
He loves her more. What is
Yeah.
the situation? As you say that, what is the situation in your mind's eye?
The situation is about my boyfriend, and because we used to be together when we were kids, but we broke up because there was another person that in my mind at that time when I was young, I felt like he loves her more. So that's a situation.
Yeah. And where are you when you're thinking of it? Like, how old are you? Are you at school? Are you in a classroom? Are you walking to the cafeteria? Where are you when you think he loves her more?
I was 22 and I was in his apartment.
Okay, in his apartment, are you sitting in the living room? Are you
Yeah, in the
cuddled up together?
bedroom.
In the bedroom, all cuddled up, and he loves her more. Is it true? Be there now. He loves her more. Is it true? Can you really know that it's true? He loves her more. So look at your evidence. You know, some of us are so quick to jump in to know I can't really know anything. I didn't see you do that. But he loves her more. Be there now. Can you really know that it's true? He loves her more. Look at your evidence.
No, I don't know if it's true.
Okay. Now notice how you treat him and what happens to you. You're emotional when you think the thought he loves her more.
I became very insecure.
And what does that look like?
I
That situation.
was jealous. I always questioned him, always ask him for more reassurance. I don't believe in myself. Yeah, like I really lack power and self-confidence when I believe in this thought.
So let's look at that. You see images when you believe he loves her more. You see images of the past and future in your head where she's prettier than you are, she's smarter than you are, she's everything, and she, oh, and then there's you. As you sit there, or as you lay there, whatever that situation in bed with this person you
Yes.
care about.
And the funny thing is, we got back together after 16 years. And I saw her picture the other day from a friend, and all the memories from that time came back. She's married now with kids. And it's so interesting that my thought is still circulating.
Yeah.
And then I started to become like my younger self. So I started to feel insecure. Then I have these thoughts. It's just so interesting how the mind does that.
Yeah, it's habitual. It's identifying as, I'm back together with him now, but in the past, and all those images come up again that we're exploring. And that's the cause of your insecurity at whatever age. Okay, so he loves her more. Who would you be in bed with him all those years ago in that situation? Would you be without the thought he loves her more? Now listen to his assurances. Take them in. Notice he's not with her, he's with you.
Yeah, he's not with her. So
Yeah.
I would be confident. That's one.
Okay, so now rather than say I would be there now. Stay anchored. I am more confident. What else do you notice without the thought he loves her more? Listen to
I'm
his
more
word.
grounded, like just centered.
Now look at him without the thought he loves her more as you're more grounded and centered. Look at him. Look how differently he looks to you without the thought he loves her more.
Yeah, I feel like he also feels comfortable with me and that he can be himself. And I think like it's tiring to have to reassure someone all the time that they are your number one, you know?
So that might be something you admit to him later and apologize for and tell him you can really see it now and thank him for being so patient with you. That's one of the things you love about him so much.
Yeah, and he is so patient.
He loves her more, turned around in that situation. I love her more. There's her, and then there's you.
I think it's still relevant right now. I mean, I saw her picture for like 5 seconds. Okay.
He loves her more, turned around. I love her more. I'm more focused on her than him.
Yes.
In that situation.
In that situation, it was really true. When I was young, I really did compare myself a lot to her.
Yeah.
Like she was his friend, she was prettier, she was taller.
And he was with you. And he was with you.
Me, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what your ego says, he's with you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
If he
But
says you're beautiful and you think you're not, just know that that is how he sees you. You know, just experience. That's how he sees you, and he's with you, not her.
yeah,
So he loves her more. Turned around, I love her more. I'm focused more on her than him in that situation. He loves her more. Another turnaround. He loves her less.
Mm.
Now, why might that be true? Find examples. In that situation, the two of you in bed, listen to his words. He loves her less than he.
I mean, he was with me, so that was one evidence.
That's one.
He was not with her, like he was with me. I feel like that's a really strong evidence.
Yes, I feel like you're right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
two.
the only one that I can see now that
Well,
like
he says so.
yeah, I mean, he did say that they're friends at
Yeah,
that
but
time.
he didn't agree that he loves her more.
Mm,
He didn't say so.
no, no, yeah, he didn't say so.
Yeah. And I can never know what another person's thinking or believing. I listen to their words, but my mind is open.
9:24 a.m.
And if it's something that is hurtful, I move it from my head to paper and I test it just the way we're doing now.
Mm,
So let's look at two in that situation with him.
yeah, I want him to appreciate me and value me in that situation.
Is it true that you want him to appreciate you and value you?
No,
Oh, really?
in that situation, no.
And how do you treat him when you think the thought, I want him to appreciate and value me?
I become very demanding. Like when I was young, I constantly nag him. Again, it's just going back into the loop of like asking him to fill my own void. I feel like that's what happened in my 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like just expecting him to make me feel good about myself, and he just cannot.
No. You know, he's up against what you're thinking and believing. And that is so strong when we're believing that no one can talk us out of it if that mind isn't open.
I can feel like when I was young, it's so hard because sometimes I go in rabbit hole,
Mm-hmm.
get stuck in a rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm. And now we can see why. Those images of past and future, it's like, wow, stuck in the middle. That is I believe in the past and in the future, but that can't be because that's an illusion. That is, those are just images in our head that leave us in the illusion of time.
Yeah.
Anything other than now, not right or wrong. It's just that, you know, that's how the ego works here in Earth School. I want him to appreciate and value me. Who would you be without that thought as the two of you are in bed together?
Happy. I would be grateful that he's there with me.
Okay, so now get really still and test it without the thought. Who am I? Without the thought, I want him to appreciate and value me. Now listen to his words. It could be every word he's speaking is in appreciation of you or valuing you. Listen without the thought, I want him to appreciate and value me. Listen to his words. Feel his presence. Feel what it's like sitting with him or just lying there together.
He actually really did appreciate and value me back then.
So
And
just
right now.
be there in it. Don't move away so quickly. Hear your words, experience. He does appreciate and value you. In the face of your ego, past and future running your head, look at he's real deal there in that situation. He is appreciating and valuing you.
Yeah.
In the face of all evidence, your ego overrides anything beautiful sent your way in that situation. In my life, I just find it so disrespectful for me if someone says, "Oh, Byron Katie, I love you." I have a right to love who I love. People have a right to love who they love. And I might say, and I have, specifically, what do you love about me? They enlighten me to traits I may have overlooked.
Mm.
I want him to appreciate and value me, so be there now, honey, in that situation with him. I want me to appreciate and value myself. So just listen to his words. Hear how he values you. Own his value toward you. Own what he's saying about you that's valid. Undeniably, when you're not denying.
Yeah, I really feel like that resonates. I want me to appreciate and value me and also him. Because when I'm so caught up with wanting him to appreciate and value me, I actually don't appreciate the little things that he does.
Yeah.
Back then, like just being there with me when my dog died or all those things that he did for us,
Yeah, he sounds like he appreciates and values you. In the face of all evidence, the ego would argue and win as far as your identity, and you're left wanting, and nothing's changed other than what you're thinking and believing. He still values and appreciates you.
Yes.
Let's look at 3. In that situation, to get what you want, what advice, specific advice in that situation, what advice would you offer him? He should, he shouldn't? To get what you want, which is you want him to love you more than her. So to get what you want, directions, he should or shouldn't?
It's he should love and value me. So it's the same one.
And he is.
Yes.
Your ego flies in the face of reality going, no, he doesn't. He likes her more than me, like I'll use this word, you're disrespectfully communicating with him, basically calling him a liar. We can't know when someone's speaking the truth in situations like this. So I take their word for it.
Yeah.
My mind is open, but who am I to override what another person tells me about them? Someone says, oh, I feel terrible. Oh, no, you don't. Look at you. You don't know. It's so, can you hear the disrespect? He should love and value you. Notice what you say, what you do, your attitude, those tendencies, those facial expressions, the emotions, when you think the thought, he should love and value me. And that's what he's doing.
Yeah. I see the pattern when I was young, that when I have this thought, it's like I tend to people please, I do more. I'm trying to like constantly get his approval, his appreciation. And when I don't get them, then I get disappointed.
Yeah, you feel cheated, but
Yeah, then I blame him for not being and valuing me.
Because you could tell him there's nothing I do for you that isn't a kind of bribe to support you to love me no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, don't, just I need your love, approval, and appreciation.
Yeah.
And so I say things that and think things and imagine things that don't exist. And just like the rest of the world, sweetie, you're not alone.
And then,
all evidence, the ego rules, who would think? It doesn't really, but it certainly leaves us experiencing it that way.
But it's so interesting because I see a pattern in my younger self when I have this thought that he should love and value me. And whenever I have a thought that he loves her more, that I'm also constantly trying to find evidence to support the fact that my mind is believing. Like, oh, because he did this, he's not loving me, he's not valuing me. And see, he's doing this, so he actually does love her more. And I think I'm just manifesting my own reality, just thoughts. And it's so painful. And I find it interesting that like I can still feel the pain of my younger self, like it's alive right now.
Yeah, it's a part of your mental, emotional DNA. Identity, in other words.
Yes.
So he should love and value me. Let's say I'm with Stephen and he's telling me about this beautiful woman he met, and he is just enthralled, and he's telling me how beautiful she is, how smart she is, and how attentive, and how everyone admires her. I'm listening to all that, and I am so happy for him. He's on fire with this woman, and I look at him and he's expressive, and he is, and I'm happy. I'm not just happy for him, I'm happy. And I can't even say for him, but when he's happy, I celebrate that just naturally. I don't do it on purpose. Now, the ego, when the ego's involved, it switches, you see, like your example early on when you're believing that he loves her more in that situation. So it's the same thing, only opposite polarities. So when he talks about her or any woman, listen, look at his joy, but he won't be able to do that with you, I'm betting, for quite a while before he gains your trust that he won't be punished for it.
Yes.
And then your feelings are hurt, etc., because your ego's on fire. And he doesn't want that Roman candle to go off.
No, I think when we were young, he really didn't feel comfortable to share too much.
Yeah.
But like now, he does. But also I'm honest about how I feel, and sometimes we laugh about it.
Oh, honey, that's so
Yeah.
good. I think you're on a road that's working for you.
But I wish I could get to the place where you are, where you're just genuinely happy. It's like not for him, not for her, just genuinely happy.
Sometimes you are. So now we're on the same road as you perceive me to be. We're on the same road, but then, like me, you'll have thoughts that stick in your head. You'll have thoughts, I have thoughts, and it could be that they don't stick in my head. I have just enough inquiry in me, but they stick in your head. But nothing's changed other than your attachment to the ego's position of past, future in your head. Those of you who do the work, past, future means in the past, I see him with her and and she's prettier than I am. She's this and that. And in the future, I see him with me. And then the ego compares, leading you to believe he loves her more. He cares about her more. But that's in your head, and that's not her. And that's not his mind. You're just championing the ego, just preserving it, holding it tight. The word for that is believe. You're believing in the face of him, of all his words in that situation, that he loves her more. He should love and value me. I'll give you a job. Okay, I love these turnarounds. Turn it around to yourself. To be happy.
I should love and value me.
Yes. So just be there. Close your eyes. Be there in that situation with him. Listen to his words. I should love and value me. He's not describing who you believe you to be. He's describing who he sees as you.
I feel like in that situation, when I love and value me, I'm not comparing myself to her, and there is no problem. It's like there's no problem. That's how I feel.
Yeah, because
There's no problem.
Comparison is the ego's favorite. It's the ego's favorite food. It's like you can look in the mirror and there you are, and your ego will just say, too tall, too short, too fat, too thin, dun, 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 dun. I should change my hair. I should change my this. I should comparing the ego, which is what you were doing in that situation, comparing you with her. But what were you compared? That wasn't her you were comparing you with. It was an image of her in your head with the personality your ego had given her. That's nothing to do with her at all. That's you in a trance. And it's hurtful to you, to him, and it's innocent as well. You know, how can we wake up to reality when we don't even know we're asleep? We're so sure that he loves her more than me. You know, it feels so solid, but that's, you know, as it turns out, a trance. He should love and value me. He should love and value himself.
That is also very true in that situation.
And I'm imagining that you support him in that, in your relationship today.
Yes, I am. Yeah, that makes sense of that. That makes a lot of sense as well.
And that works so well until you bring a third party into the discussion that is in your head. She doesn't exist, but it's like you're bringing her in as a trio. He's not doing that.
No.
So is the problem in the relationship her, or is it you? You know, you're trans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my thoughts and
Yeah.
my imagination.
The trance requires that other woman to be prettier, smarter, more popular, better looking. I mean, just, you know, oh, and that would not be her. You know, he has his her in his mind. You have your her in your mind. Not even the same her. Let's, or she, let's look at 4, honey.
Okay, he's not trustworthy.
Is it true? Be there now. Listen to his words. Open your mind.
It's like he's not being honest.
Trustworthy. Is it true when it comes to loving her more than you? He says he doesn't. He says he loves you more. He is not trustworthy. Is it true? Can you really know that it's true? Now listen to his words. Look into his eyes. If the lights are on, look at him. Listen. Focus on what he's saying. He's not trustworthy. Is it true?
No.
You get it?
And it's not so much about what he says. It's just like when I look at him in the past, in that scenario, it's like,
So
he's
look,
just
so look at him without what I said. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's not trustworthy. Is it true?
No.
You could be with the right dude.
he's
He's
just
trustworthy. He's
he is
trustworthy. In your world, he's trustworthy.
yeah.
So he's not trustworthy. Notice how you treat him when you think that thought, believe that thought, and that early situation, the two of you in bed, when you're thinking the thought he's not trustworthy. How do you treat him?
I question him a lot. And also I feel very painful inside. Like just hurt. And like, you know, like all these inner voice that just says like, oh, I can't trust him. He's gonna hurt me again. So it's like leading me to a rabbit hole. Then I question him a lot. Then I question the relationship. And then I question myself.
So imagine how much he loves you to be with someone you've just described.
It's not easy.
And yet there he is. Trustworthy.
Yes.
After all this time has passed, he's still here.
He's still here.
He's not trustworthy in that situation. I'm not.
I'm not trustworthy.
Give me an example in that situation. I'm not trustworthy.
Because I can punish him at any moment in time if I don't feel good. So when I don't feel good, he cannot trust in what I said earlier because I can shift and change like that. So I'm actually really not trustworthy because in the morning I can be happy, but in the afternoon I can be like a storm, you know? And so I'm not
And
trustworthy.
the dude just keeps on loving you.
And also in that scenario, I'm not trustworthy because like, yeah, I can bring up the past anytime. Even if I said like, I forgot about it, I forgive you. But if suddenly I'm upset about something, you cannot trust me because I can easily go back to my past.
Yeah.
And actually, that is also true today.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like I noticed that pattern in me.
Yeah. So just notice in that situation, you tested it. We all witnessed you. He loves her more. It just turned out to be not true. Not true as far as you could ever tell. Not true.
Yeah.
And time will tell. You know, it's interesting though. You could be walking down the street, run into her, and he says, "Hello," and you just go, "There's the proof. He loves her more than me." You know, so just be thorough in your work.
Yeah, that was what happened yesterday because we were out with our friends and he was showing his wedding pictures from like 10 years ago. Then he's like, "Oh, look at this lady. Do you remember her? Like you used to have a crush on her. You guys were dating for a little bit." Then that's when I suddenly felt like a 22-year-old. And I'm like, "Oh, he loves her more." And that's why like I'm doing the sheet.
And there he is with you.
Yeah, and there he is with me. And then he asked me, "Why am I so upset?" And I'm like, I just do. I feel upset.
Yeah.
He's like, and then he said, "I don't think you're feeling upset about us right now. Like you're in a rabbit hole about like another moment in time." And I'm like, "Yes, I know."
Oh, honey. Yeah. He's pointing you to a worksheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so happy to be. I'm. To my mind, we're all just really on love that happens. So you could bring us this today. You are not alone. He's not trustworthy. He is trustworthy.
He is trustworthy.
Yeah, he can even talk to his friends and say, "Oh yeah, I remember that," and everything. And you're trustworthy enough that he can be comfortable with his friends, speak of her in your presence. Says a lot for you.
Yeah. And I think that's who I aspire to become.
Yeah.
Like I just want to be confident and comfortable and assured.
You know, um, if an old friend of Stephen's walked up to us and she's prettier, she's younger, she's healthier, she's everything about her is just amazing. And he is so excited to see her. And they're talking about old times and people I've never met and all of that. And I'm being excluded completely. Why am I so happy in that position? What makes me happier in that position than the position they're in? I get to meet his friend. I get to see him happy. I get to learn more about his past. I get to know the history at a whole other level of the one I'm living with. And I'm not saying anything I haven't experienced. That's how I am. When someone loves Stephen, I love them for loving Stephen. Why do I love it? Because I understand why they would. It's not something that, oh, I love people who love Stephen. It's not, no. It's understandable.
I can see that now.
Yeah.
Like he is lovable and he is trustworthy and he's a good friend. And that's why she would also adore him.
And you, because he doesn't have to be careful in that situation. You know, you were good with it. Maybe felt a little something, but big improvement from that time from the place you wrote the worksheet. So he's not trustworthy. Turn around when it comes to him talking about her. I'm not trustworthy. And just know that about yourself. And just know that about yourself so that maybe you can do some take care of yourself. Like maybe just say, honey, you know, I'll be back in just a minute, and you all go ahead and talk, and then just take yourself away. That's self-care, and know it's a worksheet, and then come back when you're ready. And the point being, have a better time than you would if you had stood there listening.
Yes.
In other words, value yourself. Just know in this work, he's not trustworthy, turned around in that situation with her. I'm not trustworthy. It's kind of knowledge, it's wisdom. It's something I haven't worked through yet. So I want to trust me to take care of myself until that's done, so that I don't hurt him and others.
Yes.
And
Yes.
yeah. Okay, sweetie, this work, it's just, it just gives us such advantages. You know, no one can ever know if they haven't sat in self-inquiry and tested it for themselves. So let's look at 5.
I don't ever want to be second to her. Oh, I need.
He is, number 5, in that situation, he is.
In that situation, he is. I think I've already done that. In that situation, he is. So it's, I need him, right? Is that number?
Oh, you're right, honey. No, 5.
We've already done the, he is not trustworthy.
Yeah, so let's look at 5. In that situation, he is not trustworthy. What else?
He is not honest.
He is not honest in that situation. The two of you in bed where you're believing he loves her more. He's not trustworthy. Is it true? Look at him, hear him, test it now where you're more sane than you were then. Look at him really, hear his words. He's not trustworthy in what he's saying. Is it true? Can you really know that it's true? He's not trustworthy when he says, I love you.
No. I mean, he never said I love you when we were kids, but I really feel like his presence, he was just there.
Wow, that's
And he was like, yeah, he really didn't want to hurt me.
well, so that's another place he's trustworthy. You can trust him not to hurt you, do his best not to hurt you.
Yeah.
But when you look at the places you go, the dark places you can go, having to do with jealousy or envy, all of us could look at, you know, I'm not entirely trustworthy. And just know that about ourselves, and that's a worksheet. And then another test will come up just to see how far we've gotten. He's not trustworthy in that situation. Turned around, he is.
Yeah. And even to like, when I look at the present, he is very trustworthy. He tries his best not to hurt me.
Wow. Good one. Yeah, some of these things you may just want to share with him. What I appreciate about you is you're trustworthy. And no matter how far I try to throw you off the track sometimes I can just really trust you to be there and to understand. You're amazing.
Yeah, that is true. He's so patient with my emotions.
Yeah. And I refer to that example as living turnarounds, you know, just living turnarounds and expressing the knowledge and and sharing it, with others. It's just so much like he should love and value me. Turned around, I should love and value him. Well, someone says, Byron Katie, get a life. Okay, let's say this is my work. He should love and value me. I should love and value me. That just gave me a life. I should love and value him. I should love and value me. That gives me a life. It gives me a life of inquiry. I want him to appreciate and value me. I question it. I turn around and want me to appreciate and value me. That's a life's work. All of you, this work gives us a life, the opposite of boredom, the opposite of nothing to do. This is the most important. This is what Earth School's about. We haven't been brought into hell. We believed ourselves into hell. So there's no one to look to other than ourselves. And we didn't believe on purpose. It's Earth School. But we can question ourselves out of Earth School. It doesn't mean we're going to graduate. But that's what I mean by loving what is, not loving most of what is or some of what is, or loving what is with the exception of that. It's loving what is. It's a life's work. Oops. And I was so free. I thought, oops. Life gives me my next lesson. And I can say that it hurts until we do. And when we talk about conscience, it hurts until we do. And once we do it, our conscience is clear. And what does that mean? We're present. We've done our work. We just wait for the next. Let's look at 6.
I don't ever want to be second to her again.
I'm willing to.
I'm willing to be second to her again.
Yeah, because you won't be second to her again in his world, but in your world, that's what we're looking at. You put her first, he didn't.
Yeah, it's true. It is really, really true.
Yeah.
I put her first.
Yeah. I'm willing to, I look forward to.
I look forward to being second to her again.
Yeah. Why? People often ask, why would that be, number 6 be that way? Because if I ever feel like I'm second to her again, it's another worksheet. That's why I'm willing for it to happen again and look forward to it to happen again. It's unfinished business in Earth School. Unfinished, but honey, thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're savvy.
Thank you.
Goodness, thank you for being our teacher today. Let's get some feedback. Oh my goodness. No hands up. No hands up. Any feedback? Any questions? Oh, okay. Okay. Vika.
Yes, thank you. I have a question, but maybe it's good for me to say something about this, about the love, what I love about you. Like that, what was striking me the most in this session. Like to not just say that I love you, just like really, what is it that you love about me?
Oh,
But
sweet.
say it to someone else that I can articulate more what it is, because it's invaluable to hear that.
Now, rather than wait for someone else to do it, rather than ask someone else to do it, you can. That's really powerful. but be the first one to ask, what is it that you love and admire about yourself? And make that list.
Exactly, because that's what I can share with others when I can. Yeah, thank you. That's another
And
thing.
to own it yourself without the ego going in and out, like you did it wrong. There's something wrong with you, and you shouldn't have said that, and all of that. Because the ego's going to do that, and until we understand a little more.
Yes,
But
because
for
I have
you to see, make that list. Oh boy, honey, that's just very powerful.
Yeah. It's a little bit like an answer to the question I had, actually, because I have a son-in-law who is a drug addict, and he's pregnant with my daughter.
Oh, yeah. Good old life.
Yes.
And we so want to change it. We so want to, shoulda, coulda, woulda, all of that stuff going on. But no, here it is. Good old reality.
Yes. And like she got pregnant with him when he was just after he was unfaithful with their best friend. So it's just like a real thing here for me. It's a
Yes.
huge task for me to find compassion and love, and I do love them. I do love them even more for this situation. And at the same time, I feel like I need to take action somehow to be able to speak to both him and her in a loving way for how I see.
A worksheet on him and a worksheet on them, worksheet on her, but I would start with maybe a worksheet on him. As you question it and notice how you react when you believe the thought, who you'd be without it, and you turn it around, and it will give you the language and the clarity and the wisdom that you need to speak to it. And it's so important that you get it right. And here's why I say that. And it seems that you already know the why. But if we get it, because they know, it's like there's nothing, let's say, there's nothing you can say to him that he doesn't already know.
Exactly.
And is ashamed of, chances are.
Yeah.
So these worksheets, when you question them and turn them around and find examples, it gives you a language that is that comes from understanding and compassion, and it brings you closer, not further away, because the slightest little thing just sets him off.
Exactly.
Just all that guilt, and then you take the rap for it. That's how it is in the world. But so these worksheets, boy, and that list of what you most love and appreciate about yourself.
Yes, because then I can say to him, and that can be an opening, what I love and appreciate about him. He's so sensitive and beautiful and such a light being, and at the same time he's bringing on his darker sides, through the addiction. So
And that's not something he doesn't know.
no, exactly. So then the question is what I can say. But sometimes it's good to hear, though, hear that somebody's seeing it, that he's not alone in what he's seeing. So maybe that's what I want to kind of support him with.
I'd say, I see you, I love you.
Exactly.
It looks like you're, like last night, I was listening to you when we were all together, and it looked to me like you were in a lot of pain, and I just want you to know I care about you.
Yeah.
You see how I didn't point to one thing that he actually said or did, because if he's an addict, that would just, I'm imagining that he loves and cares about you. And I can see why. And sometimes people like you are their last hope.
Yeah, it feels like that, really. I mean, I get a really warm hug from him.
Yes, it's so important that he can trust that, because you're an example of what he wants to live. Yeah. Oh, sweetie.
Yeah, so thank you. It matters a lot.
I don't think I said anything that you weren't already aware of, but
But it's good to kind of clean myself with the work, so that I am clear in what I say and how I say it, so that I don't jump over to try to control him, because that's the thing, you know. It's like, for me, it's a challenge how to speak out what I need and not hurt somebody with it. Like, that's a growing up process. I don't have role models for it, you know.
yeah, and this work will give it to you. It's in you, and it surfaces as you sit in self-inquiry. It's all there, honey. So gosh, I love you're in the world, all of you. I love you're in the world. Oh boy, to shift the world without trying to.
Yeah.
Just to do your work allows us to express in a way that matches our heart, and it shifts our world, our children, our friends, our associates, and don't expect it to. You know, don't expect it to. If I did the work with those motives, I wouldn't allow me to be here speaking, hanging out in this community. Thank you.
I have this kind of, I'm sorry, I have another, because what I want to tell him is that he can't really be there for the child if he's using drugs.
You think that's something he doesn't already know?
Maybe he knows it somewhere, but he's trying to kind of stop using the drugs without getting help. So maybe that's the thing. He wants to stop using the drugs, but he's not up for getting into rehab.
Yeah.
He wants to do it like on his own. So maybe that's like the quick tweak, like how to kind of.
Well, and you know, when he says, you don't want to do this on my own, just, you might say something like, I love you, and if there's anything I can do to help, you know, here I am. I mean, really, love is the power.
Yeah.
There's so much more that there's, you know, my brother was an addict, and a heroin addict, and I just loved him. And his family did everything in the world to help him, everything in the world. I mean, they tolerated them. They tried to get him in rehab. They everything. And he became so depressed, he just ended up in this really dark room for a large period of his life with no light or anything. I was the only person he would allow in. And it's because I listened. And I would say things like, honey, would you like a drink of water? Or just be quiet. And then he would say things and I would listen. It's like he was in my presence, like yours, that lack of judgment and that love. He was able to say horrific things. He could say anything to me about anyone, and I understood. It was like he's full of this stuff.
Exactly.
Just vomiting it all out.
And that's what my daughter is sensing. She's saying that there is some yuck going on here.
Yeah.
And I said, like, you're right. I can see that.
Well, sweetie, just boy, with you as a mother-in-law, he's blessed. You all are. Thank you, honey. Boy, oh boy. Tiffany.
Hi, Katie.
Hi, Tiffany.
Hi.
Hi.
Lovely to be with you, or be with me. Not so lovely sometimes, but anyway. So the first person you did the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet on, I was curious because for me, as I said in my work, I can see it would probably start from something when I was younger or little. Like I definitely have I haven't been in a relationship for a long time, and it scares me to do that. And I'm 52, and I know if I were to be in a relationship, all of this would come up. But it's so I noticed the person you worked with, there was no past stuff. But for me, I just feel like there's so much from the past. So I'm curious that didn't come up. Is that just because it wasn't there for her?
Because we were only doing one situation.
Mm.
And so, just one at a time. And we did touch on the present relationship they have a bit, but basically we anchored those years ago in that bedroom together. So you fill in a worksheet, you anchor there and collect what you were thinking and believing as you fill in the worksheet. Just anchor there. And
it could take you to the past if that kind of comes up.
Oh, absolutely. And you might do like 100 worksheets on him, It's just, but anchor in one situation at a time.
So if I know that there's stuff from my past where I kind of don't rate myself, so every time I'm with somebody that I feel attracted to, it just instantly comes up that I'm not good enough and I'm not intelligent enough, and it's so strong. I can hear the emotion, and it's like if I'm on my deathbed, I want to not have that. I would love to.
Would you rather have a beautiful body, or if you had to make a choice, a beautiful body or a beautiful mind, which would you choose if you had to make a choice, one or the other?
Yeah, beautiful mind.
There you go. You can have that.
Yeah.
We're all equal in that. And that's what in self-inquiry gives us. It gives us understanding. And it leaves us with no need for unconditional love. It becomes a way of life.
I feel like I have to wait till I've got a beautiful mind before I start dating.
Well, you could start dating and they would give you your next worksheet, or you could not date and that next worksheet is inside your head anyway from the past. So worksheets either way.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you for so much.
Sandra. Hi, Sandra.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well.
Beautiful woman.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to ask you about something that has happened several times. I was doing a worksheet, one belief at a time on I'm unsure. So I go into a PTSD thing, and I've been able to sort of walk backwards and being in the place of, I'm unsure. Brings on that it feels dangerous, and then the possible freezing or whatever. But when I was in it, in the stillness, I'm so far in it that there's just this deep, black despair. And I'm with that child. You talk about that part of yourself, myself, ourselves. As
remembering our childhood.
Right. And so then the me that is in there with that child, I just stay there. and it starts changing and changing and changing. And then the facilitator suggested I light a candle, and that brought brightness and more breath and all. But what has happened several times when I'm like in that, it's like a pre-verbal space. There's no words. There's just the feeling, and being with it is so powerful. But I'll feel nauseous the next day, and then when I sit to meditate, I am out for like 4 hours, and it's so wonderful.
Yeah.
And I don't quite know what's happening when I'm in there, but I just wanted to, I don't know if you'd heard about this or what you have to say.
Well, it sounds like it's that's a very valuable experience for you.
Yeah.
And you're empty for 4 hours. I just find that extraordinary. Yeah.
And
So-
I like even I can open my eyes and I can't even move.
yeah.
It's so deep, it's like it's me. Yeah, I can hear it. I'm hearing myself. It's like the deep experience I was having while I was in Inquiry and meeting that, despair, that darkness. And so.
Yeah, you found no harm. The
No
child,
harm.
the child was terrified, but looking back out of the eyes of the child as you, the experienced adult, you could see, and in that your child could see.
Yes. And it's like I can bring her to here now.
That's some good mothering.
Right? I mean, I loved it when you referred to it as the child, and then I was able to be there I wanted to be there for them and bring them into the now.
Oh, that's
Not
so
left in the past suffering.
just bring in the children,
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Willa.
Hi, Katie.
Hi.
I just want to say thank you. I was just sitting here and observing how you listen to everyone and how you are with them. And I learned a lot from it. Just thank you for doing these events and just being. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You are my heart's desire.
Lovely to hear that.
Heart's desire. All of you. Just my heart's desire. The human race, do you all understand that the human race lives within you? The human race is as you think and believe us to be. How can we really acquire world peace? We can judge our neighbor, write it down, and ask more questions and turn it around, and just one worksheet at a time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Willa.
Thank you.
Deborah.
Thank you.
Okay, dears. Well. Let's see. This is Wednesday. Thanks to your contributions, we are here every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And thank you for that. Steph and I we love our Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and hopefully serving you well on thework.com and available to you, where the New Year's cleanse, it fills so quickly. Steph and I are actually considering a whole other New Year's cleanse the following day that the first one ends. So if you're on the waiting list or able to make that, it's look for it on thework.com, and we're moving that way, and we'll see if this old lady can do. It's like I used to do those 9-day schools. Oh my holy moly, from early morning to late most nights, and retired from that. Just, oh my gosh, I'd do it again if I could. And but this would be 6 days in a row instead of 9, and I think I can pull it off anyway. Look for that on our website. And in the meantime, look at us. Here we are every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And gosh, is that it? I downloaded. Oh, our At Home with Byron Katie podcast. Thank you for that, Keithers. And we have a new episode every Tuesday. And please rate and leave a review. Okay, dears, thank you for something beautiful. And Sabi, thank you for being our teacher today.